Hello my fellow oddities and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing another design ranking, this time covering a character we probably should have done in like one of the first 10 episodes of this series, but we're finally getting to the main villain of at least the first Mortal Kombat game, some will argue of all of Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung. For those who haven't seen the previous videos in the series, let's reiterate the rules. The first rule is that I'll only be taking designs from Mortal Kombat games, which means no comics, movies, or cartoons, and no other games like... Surely Shang Tsung's been in something, right? Dang, I can't think of any though. I'm sure he's in something though. The second rule is that I'll not be taking any repeated or reused designs, which means no recreated classic costumes from the later games, and nothing from Mortal Kombat Armageddon, since all the designs in that game are just reused from the previous 3D era games. The third rule is for Mortal Kombat 11 only, and it's that I'll only be taking designs from the story mode, but with Shang Tsung it's a little different because his default skin is not in the story mode, but I will be including his default skin because it's his default. So, yeah. Just a little switch up on the normal routine there, I guess. And the fourth and final rule is that I'll not be taking any designs from Mortal Kombat Mobile or Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Why? Because it's Mortal Kombat Mobile and Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into Shang Tsung's designs. At the bottom of the barrel for me, honestly, not that bad of a bottom of the barrel, is his Mortal Kombat 1 alternate skin, good guy skin, crowned skin. I don't know what to call this one, but it's the one where he has like this crown and, you know, it's mostly gold, and I don't know, this just doesn't really seem like a Shang Tsung design to me at all. Like, there's nothing really about this that screams to me Shang Tsung, evil sorcerer who likes to suck people's souls or anything like that. It honestly feels like a good guy type of skin. It feels like something like, I don't know, King Jared would wear. This would be a fantastic first design for King Jared if he ever came into a Mortal Kombat game. I mean, technically, with Ermac, he is in this game, somewhat, but you know what I mean. Like an actual King Jared as King Jared, not as Ermac, as King Jared. That would be a fantastic skin for him, but not for Shang Tsung. So this one, just, nah, not it for me, but, you know, it's not terrible or anything. Could be way, way worse. At number 13, we have the Mortal Kombat 11 Kronika design. Now, I've always really not liked these types of Kronika designs. This one's a little bit better because it's not like completely her styled. It's somewhat her style mixed with Shang Tsung's, which is a little bit better than other characters who are mostly or just completely Kronika's kind of color scheme and design, whereas Shang Tsung kind of puts his own flair to it, which I like a little bit better. You know, there's a bit more yellow than there is like white and, you know, black, gold, those types of colors, but Shang Tsung has his iconic yellow designs in there, so I like that, and it's probably one of the better Kronika designs, but still, I really don't like it. I just want Shang Tsung to look how he normally looks. Like if he just like got his regular default design instead of this weird design, then I would have been a lot happier, but he didn't. He got this one, and you know, like I said, could be worse. It could be just like complete Kronika overhaul or something like that, but I still don't really like it that much. It just reminds me how much I hate that bald-headed woman with her stupid color schemes and her stupid eyes and her stupid voice and her stupid barefootedness and her stupid role in the story as a Titan that is higher than the Elder Gods somehow, even though the Elder Gods were the only thing that existed before time itself, and also the one being, of course. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, and her existence is directly contrary to everything in Mortal Kombat. But what was this video about again? At number 12, I have his Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance alternate design. Now, this one is trying to go a bit more back to the classic style. In this game, of course, Shang Tsung had a completely different design that kind of revolutionized his character going forward. But this one is a bit more of a classic design, but it also mixes the color scheme of that more modern Shang Tsung with the more classic designs of the older ones. So this one's mostly taken from like Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and I just don't really think it fits that well. I mean, I already don't really like the Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3 designs for Shang Tsung, which we'll get to later, but I think especially in this game and its graphics and also the color scheme, and also just this character model of Shang Tsung, it all just doesn't really fit that well in my opinion. It just makes him look kind of goofy and weird, especially if you put it next to the default design, which is just awesome, really, really cool, and then you just got this one, which is just kind of like, I don't know, almost laughable. Like, in comparison to that one, it's just like, this one's just so much more lame. So yeah, I'll put it near the bottom here. It's not like the worst design ever or anything. I know what they were going for, and it does somewhat fit Shang Tsung, but I still feel like, you know, other designs are a lot better than this. At number 11, I have his Mortal Kombat 2 design. Now, this one is obviously very important to the history of Shang Tsung because this was the first young Shang Tsung design, so it kind of paved the way for how the character would be going forward to make him the more popular character. I think it's safe to say the more popular version of the character is the young version, so you have to give this design a lot of respect for that. But at the end of the day, I still feel that it is very, very dated because, I don't know, just all of the design aspects have just gone on to be better in later titles. I think this one, you know, good starting point, but, you know, as it went on, like, it just got way, way better. And this one, in retrospect, looks a little goofier, a little worse. I don't like the hat. The hats, I hate it, actually. It was on the last design too, but I just thought I would save it for this design since it's, you know, the first one that had it. And I just think it's stupid. I don't know. I don't know the historical significance behind it. Maybe if I did, I would appreciate it more. I don't know if it's like a traditional Chinese hat or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe you guys can say in the comments. That would be nice. But I think for Shang Tsung, for a sorcerer, it just doesn't really make sense. I feel like, you know, having the long, wavy black hair, that one makes him a lot more intimidating, and it makes him look a lot more like that evil sorcerer, the evil necromancer that he is. And I just feel like the hat was just a poor decision. And I also don't like him being like all shirtless and not covered up, because usually Shang Tsung, you know, he has the long robe, and I think that looks a lot better than just him like being shirtless and like wearing these like overall looking things. And so, you know, I don't just say it for the ladies. I think Shang Tsung needs to be covered up more because the design just doesn't really fit him. So, you know, I don't know if this will be controversial, but I have Mortal Kombat 2, his design in there, pretty low. And now at number 10, I have one that I just feel like is too generic, and that's the Mortal Kombat 11 default design, or the young design. And I just don't like this one because, especially in comparison to the old design, or the one that's used in story mode most of the time, I just feel like this one is just super boring, just not really anything going on about it that like really piques anyone's interest. Like, if I looked at this, I wouldn't think, oh wow, Shang Tsung is such a cool character, I want to play as him, and yada yada yada, I love Mortal Kombat. No, I just think, yep, that's a Shang Tsung design, I'm gonna go like play as Bihan or something. And it just doesn't stand out from the rest in any meaningful way for me to put it any higher on this list, because I feel like everything higher than that has at least something that makes it just like pop a bit more, or something like that. So I have his Mortal Kombat 11 design at number 10, but we have broken into the top 10, which, you know, isn't saying that much because this character doesn't have like 20 something designs like Scorpion or Sub-Zero, but still. At number 9, fittingly, we have his Mortal Kombat 9 default. Now this one, I think, is a little better than the Mortal Kombat 11 one because it has a bit more color to it. The Mortal Kombat 11 one, pretty much just yellow. That's really the only main color on it. Also, there's like black and stuff, like that's normal colors. So in terms of like colors that actually pop, this one has a bit more. It has red, it has some gold. I like it a whole lot more. I also think the goatee looks a bit better and just, you know, makes his face look more complete. I understand that the Mortal Kombat 11 one, it was Kerry Tagawa, and Kerry Tagawa didn't have the goatee or anything in his movie, in the 1995 movie, so they wanted to kind of keep him clean shaven. But I feel like since they already had like the 1995 design in that game, they should have just given it to him, or at least tried it and see what it looked like. And so I think this design just has that benefit of like feeling more like Shang Tsung, since he has that, you know, feature that's been a prominent part of his character. And also the rest of the design, it's actually pretty similar to the Mortal Kombat 11 one, like in terms of just like how it's structured, but like the colors, I think just like prove to make it look way, way better. And, you know, not like exponentially better or anything, but like it just, you can tell from looking at that design and looking at this one, just like why this one in certain aspects is just better. But still, I don't really feel too much when I look at it. I mean, it's kind of just another Shang Tsung design to me, and you'll see later on that I'm just not a huge fan of like the younger Shang Tsung design, because I feel like not only does it kind of strive him away from the character he was originally, but I also just think it makes him a bit less, intriguing. Oh my god, I just realized that I completely forgot Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. Guess this is where I'm putting it then. At number 8, oh my god, but this is going to screw up the whole numbering system. Oh, that's annoying. Here at 8.5, we have Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. It's basically the same design as the Mortal Kombat 9 one. I guess I like it a little better. Yeah, sure. At number 8, I have the Mortal Kombat 3 design. Now this one has a few of the same problems as the previous ones, specifically Mortal Kombat 2, because it is shirtless. I don't really like that, but it has one major thing that I think just makes it pop, makes it stand out a whole lot more, and makes me just like it a whole lot more. And that is the black eye makeup and the white eyes. I think it just makes his character pop a whole lot more. I think this is something that hasn't really been featured in a lot of Shang Tsung designs. I think this might be the only one actually where he has like the black markings and the white eyes. I think it's a super cool thing that they should try out more. Maybe not as like the default design, but maybe an alternate, just so that they're not like jumping the gun, and maybe it won't look good on other versions of the character. But I think for this one, for what it's going for, it makes him look super, super cool. This is also the introduction of like the more, how do I say it, hairy Shang Tsung. He had the bigger goatee than he had in Mortal Kombat 2, and he had the longer hair and all of that, and I think it just made him look a whole lot better in this game compared to Mortal Kombat 2, and this one just looks cooler, I guess, and that's the main reason why I've put it up so much higher than Mortal Kombat 2, even though realistically, if you're being like objective, they have a lot of the same issues, but this one just adds a few things that just makes him look a whole lot cooler for whatever reason. I don't know, just like 2 or 3 additions can just completely change how you feel about a design. And for this one, it's the fact that he has white eyes and black things around those eyes, and also hair. Yeah, nice. Now at number 7, we have the first old Shang Tsung design on the list, and that is the Mortal Kombat 9 alternate. Now, the robe itself, I think, actually looks really, really cool in this game. He's had like a couple different colored robes, actually more than a couple. He's had like red, he's had yellow, he's had blue, he's had purple. One of those is my favorite, and we'll get to which one is my favorite later on in the video. But I think this one looks really, really cool. This was the inspiration for the Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge version of the character, and it's one of the only designs from that movie that isn't taken from MKX, which means it's a W. And so, yeah, I just think this design gets a lot right in terms of the actual costume itself, but the reason that I haven't put it higher is because I really, really don't like how, I don't know what's the right word, decrepit they made his face. Like, yes, Shang Tsung is old, but he's not like, I don't know, corpse-like in appearance. Like, I don't know, I just didn't really like how they made his face look. It looks very like, I don't know, it looks like he's just like a dead man walking, and I don't really like that. I don't like this is another design that had the white eyes, and I think the glowing white eyes works more than like the dead person white eyes that he has in this game. And so, I know it's a bit of a weird thing to complain about, but I just feel like this design would look a whole lot better if he was like not as old looking. Like old, but like more like Gandalf, or what's the one from Harry Potter? The oh my god, Dumbledore. Like that type of old, instead of like about to be like, oh, like I wouldn't look out of place inside of a grave old. Like that, I don't like. At number 6, I have the Mortal Kombat 1, the recent Mortal Kombat 1 default design. I think, if they had experimented with the goatee and the white eyes, this design might been able to look better, but I don't know what that would look like, so I'm not going to say just yet. But I think in terms of the costume itself, it's a big step up. I also like the hair way more than the Mortal Kombat 11 one, which is kind of what this one is trying to take from, but then just make better. And I think it did a really, really good job at that because, you know, it has the same sort of color scheme, the same, you know, general layout, but it just looks a whole lot better. And I think the hair, the way that they styled it, it's not just like just hair down, like not anything to really look at or be interested in. And I think they made it look a whole lot more like actually the Mortal Kombat 2021 version of the character. And that's something I remember a lot of people talking about when the initial trailer came out and we got a reveal for Shang Tsung and how we would look. Everyone was talking about this looks like 2021 Shang Tsung. And I really like that because if 2021 Shang Tsung was included on this list, he would be number one, guys. That design is amazing. But, you know, if I ever do like a movie live action adaptations ranking of characters or something, that's actually a good idea. I might do that sooner rather than later. But yeah, if that design was on this type of list, it would be number one. And I think it was really cool that they kind of took inspiration from it, mainly with how his face and his hair looks. I also remember people like talking about how like they thought he was voiced by Chin Han, the actor who plays him in the movie, because like his scream was vaguely similar to how he screams in the movie. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but you know, I think the actual design itself is a big step up from Mortal Kombat 11, and I just think I love the claws that come out. I think that's a really fitting thing for Shang Tsung, and like there would be like these like syringes on them, kind of like Scarecrow from Arkham Knight, right? So he would have like these green injection sort of things on his wrists, and I think, you know, I wouldn't want it for like an every Shang Tsung design. I think it would look kind of weird on all of them because there are some that are just like, I don't know, like it's a bit more traditional, just like especially in the more earlier games, like just classic Shang Tsung designs. I don't know if that would really work, but the way that they designed this one, obviously it's going to be beneficial to the overall design, and I think they did a good job in doing that. And, you know, I think this one is just a solid Shang Tsung design. There are a few things that I wish they would have experimented with just to make it a bit more classic, you know, maybe with the colors, maybe with the way his face is. But overall, I think this was a pretty good Shang Tsung design for the new era, Liu Kang's new era. And yeah, but I hope that going forward, they do a bit of new stuff because, you know, I don't just want like upgrades to the Mortal Kombat 11 design all the time. That would suck. Actually, I think what would be a good idea, like in the next game, is to have like the new era Shang Tsung be like, hey, that Titan version of me, the one from his own timeline, he had a pretty cool design. I'm going to take his color scheme and all that. You know, even though like they were all teaming up to stop that version of the character, but you know, still, you can still admire when your enemy has good fashion choices. And you can still be inspired by them. All right? It's not that big a deal. At number 5, moving from one Mortal Kombat 1 to another, we have his original 1992 Mortal Kombat 1 design. I think this is actually like the most, I don't know, detailed, advanced looking design out of everything from Mortal Kombat 1. If you look at a lot of the other designs, they're kind of basic because, you know, that's just how the times were. Obviously, like Goro is an exception because, you know, he was like stop motion. But in terms of actual designs that they made that are practical, I think this one is by far the one that looks the best for its time. And I think if you took this design and just put it into one of the more modern Mortal Kombat games, it could still look really, really cool instead of, you know, looking out of place compared to all of the other super, super detailed designs. Whereas, you know, other characters in Mortal Kombat 1, like if you took like the classic ninjas, obviously, they wouldn't look as good compared to how this design would look compared to like the Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat X, those types of designs. This design is blue and yellow with the main color being blue, and I honestly think that they don't use enough blue in Shang Tsung designs. I think it can be a very cool, you know, kind of color for him, but, you know, they obviously want to go with the more kind of flashy colors, red, yellow, you know, the more royal looking stuff because, you know, that's kind of the type of character Shang Tsung kind of delves into, is like that kind of royalty side, even though he's not really any royalty, but, you know, that's just like the way that he is, I guess. So they're just his colors. And so, you know, I wish they would kind of switch it up from time to time. It's always yellow or red or something like that, but they should go back to blue or purple, because I think those types of colors could really be a cool type of design in a modern game with Shang Tsung as like the main villain or something. I think that would be really cool. Preferably the old Shang Tsung. I don't know about the new or the young version of Shang Tsung. I don't know how those colors would look on him, but for the old Shang Tsung, pretty much any color looks good on him. I don't know. For whatever reason, old men just have like a really good fashion sense, and just any color can look good on them. I like how you can give it credit for being the classic design while it's also just like a good design in and of itself. I feel like a lot of these classic designs I've had to be like, okay, let's be more generous because it's a classic design. Whereas for this one, I feel like I can just be generous and know that this is a really, really good design in and of itself, and not feel like I'm just putting it high up there because it's classic and it revolutionized Mortal Kombat and whatever. This one, I just feel confident about it being just good as a costume, as a Shang Tsung design. At number 4, we have a very similar design, but it is purple instead of blue, and that is the Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks design. Not really a whole lot more to say. I mean, it's pretty similar to the Mortal Kombat 1 version, just it's purple, and it's a bit more of a just traditional, just like robe, instead of it being, you know, kind of more detailed and more like packed on with different layers and different things, as opposed to the Mortal Kombat 1 version, which, you know, some people might like, some people might dislike, but I think it looks a little bit better in this version. But the main reason I have it a little bit higher is because I really, really like purple for Shang Tsung. You know, some people might say like blue is a bit too much of a nice color, whereas like yellow, red, those colors can feel kind of mean. So I get why people really, really like yellow and red on Shang Tsung, but I feel like purple is just like the perfect middle ground. I mean, it literally is the middle ground between blue and red. But you know what I mean, like, it's the perfect, just like, evil, good, like, just that, like, kind of weird middle area that I feel like Shang Tsung, like, obviously he's evil, but I feel like, I don't know, it just fits him in a weird way. And I just really, really like how purple makes Shang Tsung look, and I feel like it could work with a whole lot of different colors. You know, if you want to have purple and blue, I think that would look cool. Purple and yellow, that would actually look really, really cool. I thought those are like opposite colors on the color wheel. So, you know, it would look very, very awesome. Also, you know, purple and red, like not the most fitting colors or anything, but I still feel like it would look fine on Shang Tsung. And so, yeah, I mean, I really like the Shaolin Monks version. Obviously, it's iconic from it being in the opening scene, and I think that's pretty much it, actually. I think after the opening scene, he just goes back to being young Shang Tsung. So, yeah, that sucks, but I really, really like this design. If you're wondering why I haven't included the young version of Shang Tsung from Shaolin Monks, it's because it's the same design as the Mortal Kombat 2 design. So, I didn't want to be redundant. Yeah. At number 3, I believe that the best old Shang Tsung design is his Mortal Kombat 11, I don't know what to call it, like his story mode design. Yeah, that's what I'll call it. I think this one is the best middle ground between all of the different old Shang Tsung designs. It has a little bit of Mortal Kombat 9, a little bit of the Mortal Kombat's original design, as a little bit of Shaolin Monks. I just think it just does a very, very good job at meshing all of those, and the main thing that it does very, very right, and this is very rare that I will compliment a design based on it having more than like 2 colors, but this one has almost all of Shang Tsung's iconic colors, and that is red, blue, and yellow. Unfortunately, it doesn't include purple, but you know, at that point it would probably start to feel overcrowded, so I get why they didn't include it. But the way that it is in this game, I feel like it's pretty much perfect. This is the way that I would want the older Shang Tsung to look in any sort of Mortal Kombat media. Oh, plus the fact that it's Kerry Tagawa doing old Shang Tsung, which is, you know, just perfect because obviously he's gotten older. In the past, in 1995, you could play the younger Shang Tsung. Now, he's the older Shang Tsung. He can do both. And I think that's super, super cool. The only thing, like, not even as like the main design, the only thing I would want is like the option for white eyes. I think that would make it look a little bit better. But, you know, it's still Karatagawa, so you probably don't want to, like, cover up his facial features and stuff like that, because, like, his eyes are one of his, like, main ways of emotion. I mean, it's the main way of every person's emotion, but, you know, especially him, because he has, like, the crazy eyes and stuff like that. And so, you know, maybe it would have been a good decision as, like, the main design, but, you know, as an option, I think it would look pretty cool. Like, we didn't even get it in, like, a Combat League skin or anything. Like, I feel like even Sindel, other DLC characters, when they got combat skins or Combat League skins, any characters that have had white eyes in the past, I feel like they had at least got one design that included those white eyes, whereas this one didn't really happen for Shang Tsung, which I think is a shame, but, you know, still a really good design, and I think by far the best older version of Shang Tsung. And now, in second place, I'm gonna be kind of breaking a rule here. I have the Mortal Kombat 1 Titan design. Now, this one actually technically originated in Mortal Kombat 11, and it's why that version of the skin isn't on here, but Mortal Kombat 1 is more recent, and I don't know, I just feel like it would be a better inclusion in the video. It's pretty much one for one the same design as in Mortal Kombat 11, and so I didn't want to be redundant by including both of them, and I also didn't really want to talk about Mortal Kombat 11. I would rather talk about Mortal Kombat 1, so here we are. And I think this one looks better in the Mortal Kombat 1 version anyway, so I would rather talk about it. So, yeah, this design is incredible. It's not super armory like a lot of the Mortal Kombat 11 designs, not so much Mortal Kombat 1, but, you know, I feel like this one's more in place in Mortal Kombat 1 because, you know, the designs aren't as armory, but this one's just like a perfect blend of being like armory, but also just being like classic Shang Tsung. I love the colors. The red in this design just pops so much more than it has in the past NRS games with red Shang Tsung design, specifically Mortal Kombat 9. Normally it has like pretty good colors, but in that game, for whatever reason, like Shang Tsung's red was just super dark. In this one, it's like a bright red, and I just think it looks super nice, and it's contrasted very well by the black and the like gold. I forgot, was it a dragon or was it a snake? I'm pretty sure it was a dragon that goes around his body, and I just think that this design is a pretty dope design for a, you know, more boss level Shang Tsung. For a standard Shang Tsung, I don't know if it's like something I would want him to wear all the time, but, you know, as this like kind of final battle version of him, I think it looks really cool. And I wish we got to see a bit more of it, but, you know, he was like the final villain of Mortal Kombat 1, and it was only in like one scene in Mortal Kombat 11, so it is what it is. Also, I know I've said this a lot, but like, you know, I think this design might look cool with like a goatee or white eyes, like, you know, just to make it really feel like classic Shang Tsung. I don't know, maybe it would look stupid, but I really think, you know, for a final boss Shang Tsung, like, I feel like you should try to include all of the different iconic aspects of the character, and, you know, maybe if you even have like the black markings around the eye, you know, that could be cool, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like being stupid here. Maybe it would look ridiculous, and I just have no sense of character design. Yeah, but let's move on to number 1. And at first place, getting the gold medal for all Shang Tsung designs is his Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance default design. I think this one, like I said like way earlier in the video, this design kind of revolutionized Shang Tsung. Again, Mortal Kombat 2 did it once, but this game really did it. And I think, you know, going forward, Shang Tsung, his designs were a lot more like this rather than like the weird like overall hat looks that he had in Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. And I think this one just like takes the cake easily. Like the way that the red is, like it's very good shade of red. The green effects around him, like obviously that's not like in gameplay, but in a lot of the promotional art, like the green effects just really pop against the rest of his design. And also with the gold and the yellow aspects of his actual costume, as well as the hair, the goatee, I think it all just like blends very well together to make, in my opinion, the ultimate Shang Tsung design. Like, you know, I know old Shang Tsung was like the classic, the original, but like as number one, I don't really think it could be there because, you know, it's not like the most popular. It's not the main version of Shang Tsung. And so I feel like this design just like kind of gets everything right. Obviously, you know, I wish there was like shaders back then or like different color variations because I feel like this could look good in a lot of different colors. You know, I'd like to see like an inverse like yellow and red. I don't know if that would look good. I don't know, probably not. But, you know, maybe, you know, purple, maybe blue. I think there are a couple other color variations that I would like to see for this design. And, you know, they brought back a lot of Deadly Alliance designs in Mortal Kombat 1, so maybe in the future this could be another one that they bring back, and, you know, we could see some color variations of it. I think that would be very cool, but they're probably not going to do that. So, yeah. Shang Tsung, his designs, for the most part, pretty well-rounded, not anything like too terrible. And, you know, even this number one spot, it's not like one of the greatest Mortal Kombat designs ever. I wouldn't put it like top 10 or anything, but, you know, I think it's pretty good. And so, yeah, let me know which characters you guys would like to see next. I think I have Baraka on my list. I think I have Kenshi. Yeah, those are the two I'm thinking of right now. I'm also thinking of doing, like, combo videos where I talk about like multiple characters in one video because, you know, some characters just don't have that many designs, and so I can't make a full video out of it. I don't know, maybe for certain characters I can make like a YouTube short where I just speed run through their designs. That could probably actually work, you know, if I'm doing like, you know, a quick like top 5 or something for a character's designs, because, you know, there's a few characters with like only 5 designs, 6, 7, something like that. I'll only do a character if they have at least 10 designs. That's my kind of criteria for these videos. And, you know, with Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, there are a few other characters that have probably crossed that threshold. And so, you know, I'll have to do my research. And also just you guys let me know which characters you'd like to see next. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. What other characters have like enough designs for this series that I haven't already done? Goro maybe? Goro, he's appeared in a lot of games, so, you know, and he's appeared in Mortal Kombat 1, so maybe him. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, yeah, make sure to check out the links in the description to my merch store, my Mortal Kombat Retold podcast, my Twitter, and my Instagram. Also, give this video a like so that more people get to see it, and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. With that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.